Hey there crew, it's Mark from Mark Your Pages, and today we are going to be doing an unboxing. We got some brand new stationery items from Atlas Stationers. I love these guys. The reason that I have two boxes is because I went ahead and placed my Twsbi pre-order, and that way I got it as soon as it was available. I also added some inks on there we'll take a look at, but while I was doing some pre-shopping before the pre-sale, I forgot to add these two new Pilot pens, which I just saw. Love these colors, and they said they're very beginner friendly, so I thought we'd give them a try and take a look at this because these are also new to me today as well. Let's go ahead and start with the star of this show. So the whole reason I placed this order was because Twsbi came out with a new color as a part of their Diamond 580 ALR fountain pen collection. I have a growing collection of Twsbis. This is honestly completely the community's fault for telling me about them. And what I love about these pens, first of all, is they write really nicely, but they're also beautiful to look at. The design is amazing, and they are truly so easy to use. So this is the new black color that they have. I don't have one like this just yet, and I thought this would be a fantastic addition to the collection. It's also extra fine. What I'm finding is as I'm using more fountain pens inside of my bullet journal, extra fine and fine are doing a much better job than some of the heavier, like really bold, broad stub nibs. So I'm probably going to stay in this extra fine, medium at most range, just moving forward. I have others in my collection if I really want to use something like that, but for now we'll probably just stick here. So inside of the packaging, we have our pen, and then underneath all of the packaging, if you don't ever look at these, you should probably take a look. You get two things inside of here. One is going to be a wrench tool. This is used to actually take apart your pen if you want to clean it really well. If you open up your pen all the way and the piston goes all the way down, you'll actually see that in between here is the space where the wrench can go in between. This is used if you want to take off this top section of your pen and give it a really nice clean. Inside of here is also going to be your silicone grease. This is necessary to kind of grease everything on this piston, and that way it keeps all the ink down below in this section here and not up inside this mechanism here. You don't have to put a lot of this over time, and honestly, you have to do a lot of pen cleanings before you really need to worry about that. This section down here comes off as well if you want to give it all a really nice thorough clean, or what I do most of the time is I just put my pen inside of some water, push down the piston, suck up the ink, and I run this a handful of times to get any extra ink out of there that I want. But if I have like a very shimmery ink or something very dark and I'm putting in something light, I'll give it more of a full clean. This is actually the second 580 ALR that I got. My very first one I got over the summer, which was this one here, which is in this beautiful sunshine yellow. I don't think I've really used this as much just yet, but definitely got to get in the habit of using it more. This was a fine that I got here. And then now I have the extra fine, and now these will just join in my ever-growing Twsbi collection. They have their own little section here inside of my fountain pen holder, and I'll need to make some new room for the black one for the future. The next pens we're going to take a look at are from Pilot, and they are called Kakuno. Kakuno in Japanese means to write, and so we are going to be writing with two different pens. They come in a bunch of different colors. I had to go for this green and blue though. Very excited about it. Inside of the packaging, you're going to have your pen and you're going to have your cap. Also in each packaging, you're going to get a cartridge that comes along with this. Everything about these pens is screaming ready for beginners. So if you're interested in starting any type of fountain pen collection or just using fountain pens as a whole, I think these might be a really good starter pen to work with. I have to tell you that one of the reasons I got this pen is that they have little tiny faces on the nibs here. So this blue one here, which is the medium nib that I got, has a little mustache and a tie. And then my transparent green one here has like a little face. I don't know if he's trying to stick his tongue out or something, but that's what's on there. The reason that I got two pens is that one is a medium and one is a fine nib. So I want to take a look and see if there's any major difference between these two, especially, like I said, if you're looking at getting into fountain pens or trying something new, this could be really great. Inside the packaging, you're also going to get a little step-by-step tutorial on how to do this, but essentially it's super easy. You have your cap, you have your nib and the neck, the ink cartridge that's going to go inside of here, and then the barrel that's on the back here. I really like this color, so let's go ahead and show you how easy it is to go ahead and fill this with the cartridge. So we're just going to take off the cap, and then we're going to take off the barrel here. Now this is a little bit of a different cartridge than I've seen before. Most of the time there's like a plunger here, but it looks like it's going to go in on this end here. So we're going to push this in here, press it in, and so as you can see, we've broken that seal a little bit in there. And then what it says on there is that we're going to go ahead and we're going to press on here, and you'll see all of the ink as we did that went ahead and filled up towards the nib here. And we'll put back on the barrel here. And then it says to give it a few minutes to let the ink get through here. So let's go ahead and just sit this off to the side, and we'll test this when we test the rest of our inks. Now, if you don't want to use cartridges and you want to fill this with your own ink, you can. You would need the Pilot Con 40 fountain pen converter. When I ordered these pens, I didn't know that you needed a converter, to be honest, or that it didn't come with it, but I was glad to find out that the Vanishing Point pens from Pilot actually keep the same converter that were needed for this pen here. So what we would do is we would just fill up our converter with ink, right? Put inside of our ink, draw it up, and then this is going to fit nice and snug right inside of there. And that way we can use any type of ink that we wanted to with this. This is the method that I honestly prefer. With so many different types of inks, like why would you just want to use cartridges? While it might be easier, I'm not saying that it's not, I'm excited to give this one a try in the future with the cartridge and see how it writes as well. All right, so that was all of our pens. Now let's go ahead and take a look at these very cool inks that we got as well. The first two that we got here are a new to me brand. So Wearingeul has been around for quite some time. I see these swatches online all the time, and they always look so amazing. What I liked about these is that there aren't any shimmers inside of these. And what I've been noticing a lot is that I'm slowly getting more and more shimmer inks, and I don't mind using shimmer inks, but I don't always want that. And so when I saw these two colors, I was like, I have to try them for sure. So first of all, they're from the Peter and Wendy collection. So if you're a Peter Pan fan, this might be right up your alley. This one over here on my left is called Peter Pan, which is going to be a really cool green. And then this one over here is TikTok Croc. Now, what I love about these is look at how cool the bottles are on these. I don't know how well you can see it as it's going through, but it has those really cool effects. So you can see the Croc and then the name. And then Peter Pan over here, the Peter Pan part, and Peter Pan and Wendy disappears as you're going with it. So just a nice little extra feature there. Overall, nice bottles. I like when they have a nice thick stand, because if I have them out on the desk, if I accidentally tap it, I don't want it falling over on me. Now inside the boxes, we're also going to have two different swatches that are already a part of this. So this is going to be for the Peter Pan color here. What's cool about this ink is there's a lot of different shading that's going to happen when we use it. So it's going to start with that olive green, and then it can separate into like an orange-brown color, but also you can see some other colors potentially peek through as well that talk about yellow, green, brown, pink, just all in a single ink, which is kind of incredible. So excited to take a look at this one on paper when we go ahead and swatch it. And then we also have TikTok Croc, and this is going to be another darker green color as well. Now, I was mostly excited for TikTok Croc because of how dark and cool this is. I've been really falling in love with green inks. For some reason, I just need to use them more than black and blue. So similar to the Peter Pan, this is also going to have a separation of teal and forest green inks. I think that this is just going to look beautiful on paper. So definitely excited to give this one a swatch in just a second. Before we do, though, we have to check out these two that I got from Monteverde, USA. So these are color changing inks. So I first saw these when I was at the DC Pen Show, and they had these on display, and I was able to play with them for a hot second. So there's a bunch of different colors that have this switch that happens. So I got the red to yellow. They also have a black to green, a burgundy to orange, brown to green, blue to neon yellow, deep blue to pink, fuchsia to yellow, green to pink, purple to yellow, and then the one that we got here. So a lot of different options. So the way these work is that you have this ink here, which is your base that you're going to put down. So this is going to lay down red first. And then you need to have this color changer liquid, which is going to be clear. I'm assuming there is some chemical reaction between the two, but this is what's going to take it from red, and then you're going to use a pen or a dip pen to write over top of it for it to turn to yellow. So I'm excited to see what this one actually looks like on paper. So for these swatches, we're going to have some fun. So I've been doing these really cool ink blob swatches recently, and all you need for this is going to be your ink, a little pipette or a syringe, and a plastic baggie. Let me show you how these look. So let's go ahead and start with TikTok Croc first. All right, so to do this blobby method, I'm just going to take my little pipette and I'm going to suck up a little bit of ink. You don't need a whole lot for this because we're just doing like small swatches. And we're going to go ahead and put that on our page. And then I'm going to take my plastic baggie. I'm going to press it down on here, and I'm just going to move the ink around on the paper. You have a little bit of control here, but not a lot. But I personally just love the way that it looks. So like we mentioned, you can see some of those little color shifts that are inside of here. This is exactly why I love doing swatches myself. It looks great on the card, but in person, just love the way that this looks. All right, next, let's go ahead and check out Peter Pan. What I didn't mention before is the rest of this Peter and Wendy collection from Wearingeul. There's also a Tinkerbell, Wendy Darling, and a Captain Hook. I almost got the Captain Hook, but I decided not to. The Wendy and Darling is beautiful, and the Tinkerbell is too, but I already have so many shimmer inks, and I don't use them a whole lot. I thought, let's be responsible, Mark, and just get what you really want versus what you think you need. I think my favorite part of doing these swatches is that you get something different every single time you do it. So Peter Pan has that shading that we talked about. I love the way this looks. It's like just a different color ink. I'm fully in love with TikTok Croc. I think it's absolutely stunning. All right, and the last one we're gonna do, we have to go ahead and check out this color changing ink. I cannot wait to see it in action. So this goes down nice and red, and you could absolutely just use this ink by itself if you wanted to, but of course the real magic comes in the color changing. I'm just gonna grab a dip pen at first just to see what this looks like on here. Ho ho ho, are you seeing that? Definitely think this will come in super handy for like headers and some cool designs and lettering, but oh wow, that is beautiful. Now I might have to check out some of these other colors. Since we have these ink swatches down, let's go ahead and do some pen swatches real quick and just little writing samples to see what they write like. We'll take a look at the Kakuno ones here. We have the one with the ink cartridge already inside of it. The other I'll just do like a quick dip pen deal on, and then we'll see how beautifully the Twsbi writes. I got extra fine, it's gonna be beautiful. I never actually looked to see what color the ink cartridge says that it was, but we'll see in just a moment. What I also liked about the directions on here, because this is a very friendly beginner pen and maybe you've never used one before, the directions actually say, make sure that the face is facing you to make sure that you're writing with the pen the right way. Now the blue one is going to be the medium nib, so I'm just gonna dip it in there real quick, and let's go ahead and take a look and see how well it writes. So medium nib on this one, it's ever so slightly a little bit thicker than the fine point that we had on the other pen, but overall though, very similar. I think either could work very well if you want something just a little bit bolder. Medium is probably the best one for you, or if you like that extra fine, very nice thin line, then the fine pen would be okay. Loving the way that this is looking. I used the TikTok Croc with this one here, and it just looks really nice on the page. Something a little bit different than just black and blue ink without going like absolutely crazy on. And just the reminder that you can use any fountain pen just to see what it looks like without having to fill the whole thing up, but you do just have to make sure that you are cleaning it afterwards, because that ink is still going to get inside of there. Maybe not up inside the feed totally, but it's going to hold on to it. So I'm just going to make sure that this is nice and cleaned off before I put it away. And that way, when I go to use it for the very first time, I don't have to worry about having dark green and teal inside of it. Okay, we're gonna do the same thing with our Twsbi here. One of the things that I really love about this Twsbi is that it's not a screw post, right? You can put the cap right on the top without screwing it on there. I have a few fountain pens that need to have it screwed on the top to hold it on, and I don't love that for fountain pens, to be honest with you. Also, I didn't realize this too. It has a little tiny ribbing inside of here, so it actually holds on really nicely. Has a really nice good weight. It's not overly heavy by any means, and damn, it looks so cool. I'm so happy I got it. Let's just do something different. We're just going to use the red ink inside of here to dip and give it a try and see what it looks like. Looks like I'm writing in blood. This is extra fine, so it actually has a little bit of like that needle tip feel to it if you're the kind of person that really likes that. These up here were much smoother. This one just has a little bit more. You can just hear it a bit more, but it's not that it's dragging on the paper. Truly, I like to hear the pen write. It makes me feel more productive. So we got to take a look at some cool pens today. We got to take a look at some cool inks. Let me know down in the comment section below what was your favorite of today's haul. There's some really nice things, cool pens, loving these inks so much. As I mentioned before, I am an affiliate with Atlas Stationers. I buy my stuff from them, but I also get special discount codes that I can give to you. So if you head over to their website, atlasstationers.com, you can use my discount code, which is Mark Your Pages 10. That's gonna get you 10% off almost all the items. The only thing it's not, there's actually a few things it's not, but like Twsbi pens, for instance, you can't get the extra 10% off, but I will link it down below with an affiliate link. So if you still want to show the channel some love, even though you're not getting the discount code, you can click on that link below and that'll take you to their site and the product, and it'll give a little bit of a kickback to me at no extra cost for you. I always appreciate the support. And also, thanks for coming to hang out with me today and playing with our stationery and ink. It's always a lot of fun, and I'll talk with you next time, friends. See ya.